So the question was, how do you put a title in between a section that is separated into two grids that have two containers? How do we center text on top of both of those containers? So very quickly, let's take a look at my layer stack here. We have one section, we have two containers, and on top of all that, we have a title. So the question that we had in the Discord was essentially the issue was that you are putting the title in the container, and when the title is in the container, when we try to center it, it's going to stay inside one container or the other. So what's important to do here is that we take out the text and we make sure that it is associated with the section, that it is on top of both of the containers. If we let the title go inside one container or the other, it will crop itself off. It will associate itself in either one of the containers. So we just need to make sure that our title is above all of this in the section parent, and we can just center it here. So for example, let's just take a look at this. If we have the title in the right hand side and we try to center it, it will center to this container. If we have it in the left container and we center and we use our alignment tools here, it will center itself to this container. Now if I try to, while it's in this container, try to bring it here to this center, it will still be in this container and it will be in the left, or excuse me, the right hand side of the left container, which is not what we want. So we're going to pull that out, Control X, go to our section, Control V, and now we are going to center it here. And there we go. So I hope that answers your question. This is how, first off, we need to make sure that our assets are parented or structured in the right way in which we want to design our website. So making sure that the things that we want on top are associated with the section, and the things that we want in particular to be in the containers are in the containers. We do not want our title associated with the containers, so we're going to pull it outside and make sure that it's associated with our section, so that when we do left align, right align, we see how essentially this got right aligned, but it is the right align of the left hand side gridded section. So basically if I go to section and I go to change grid layout, we go to advanced, it's basically associating with this part of our grid, and there's this part of the grid here too. So we just need to make sure that this is dragged on top of our grid. And as you guys can see, as I move this is where it gets tricky. If I move this to one side or the other, you see this blue thing here that says attach. It is thinking that I want to pull this text that is currently in our section parent into one of the containers, which is not the case. So we're just very quickly going to go to my layers. You see when I dropped it and went to our container, Control X, section, and all we need to do is just make sure that this title is across both of the grid lines here, and now we can center it. There we go. So that is how you, in this sort of tricky situation, when you're moving around the text and you're having multiple parents underneath of the asset that you're moving, for example our two containers, just make sure that your associated or your element is in the correct parenting style, or in the correct parent. So we want our title to be centered within our section in between the two grids, and we want our containers to be separate within the left and right grids that we made for our section. So I hope that answers your question, and if you haven't already, do make sure to join our Discord, and of course like this video and subscribe. Thank you so much.